24 clubs enter this weekend's EFL League 2 campaign as the 2025-2026 campaign gets up and running. And today we're going to give you my predictions for that opening weekend. If you're new, where have you been? Smash your subscribe. You want some show for Blackburn Rovers, League 2, World Football. We're going to all hear under one Rooski. That's right. The summer is over, of course, for League 2. They are back in action with, of course, 24 clubs, 2 from promoted from the National League. Of course, we've got some relegated from League 1, but who, of course, will get off to the best possible start. We'll get into it in just 1 second. Again, if you're new, smash your subscribe. Big shout out to the members. Big shout out to the patrons. We are live. That's right, folks. We're going to get in the deep end right here, right now, and preview the games. That's right. They're coming at you this coming weekend. No rest for the wicked. It all begins here. And we've got the games coming at you. We're going to predict each and every one of them. If you want to jump in the comments, we are live. And we're going to take a look at them in just a second. But before all that, we're going to take a little look at the clubs themselves, of course. Who are the 24 clubs in this year's League 2? Well, here they come on the screen, starting now. I'm going to test my badge knowledge. We have Accrington, Stanley, Barnet. We've got Barrow. We've got Bristol Rovers. Bromley are here. Cambridge United are here. They have a new badge. That's not it, but we'll show you in a little bit. Chelmsford are here, or Cheltenham Town, sorry. We have Chesterfield, Colchester, Crawley, Crewe, Fleetwood Town, Gillingham. We've got Grimsby Town, Harrogate, MK Dons, Newport County, Notts County, Oldham Athletic are back, Salford City, Shrewsbury Town, Swindon, and Walsall. Those are the 24 clubs that make up this year's division. And of course, we're going to predict each and every one of the games, and so can you. That's right. We've got our prediction league. It is back. The form should have dropped late last night, so get involved with that if you want to get involved. Hopefully there should be a link in the description. If it isn't, it will be on in a little bit. But let's get into the deep end then and have a look at what we're talking about. We are talking about 24 clubs, 12 matches, and these are those. We're going to predict each and every one of them, starting with Accrington Stanley against Gillingham, work all the way down to the bottom, and of course we'll predict Walsall versus Swindon Town. And at the end of this video, we'll showcase you what the brand new squeaky clean EFL League 2 division will look like after match day number 1. So sit tight. Hold on, let's get into this one then, shall we? Kick it all off with Accrington Stanley against Gillingham. That's right, coming at you over in Stanley itself. John Doolan is the coach, I believe, over at Accrington Stanley, taking on a Gillingham side who have got ambitions to get promoted this time around with the main man himself behind the scenes there. That is, of course, Gareth Ainsworth. They played 20 times since 2008. 5 wins for Stanley, 10 wins for Gillingham, and we've got 5 draws coming into this one. Quick look at the odds for the title here. Gillingham are up there in 3rd place, 14-1. They're expected to go very close to getting promoted themselves. Stanley expected to struggle with relegation, down 66-1 for them coming into this. Now, last time around, they did play at this very venue. It was a 1-1 draw way back in March 2025. So Gillingham actually they've only picked up Stanley have only picked up the 1 win against Gillingham over the last 6. And that was at Gillingham way back in October 2024. Quick look at the odds for this one. 15-8 is your Stanley, 8-5 is your Gillingham, and 2-1 is, of course, the draw. I'm going to kick it all off. I do have a soft spot for Gillingham at the moment, but I do think they will get off with a cheeky, narrow 1-0 win on opening day to give themselves a chance to start the season where they really want to be towards the top end of the table. Let's get into the next one then, shall we? It's Bristol Rovers, relegated last season from League 1. They're now here, taking on Harrogate Town in the opening match at the Memorial Stadium. That's right. Bristol Rovers managed by Darryl Clark these days. Am I right with that? 3 wins of the last 4. Taking on Harrogate, of course, managed by Simon Weaver. Of course, coming into this kicking off on the 2nd of August. They played twice since 2021. Back-to-back wins for Bristol Rovers. That was back in the 21-22 campaigns where they played in this same division. That's right, picking up a 3-0 win last time back in March 2022. Again, when I have a look at the odds for these guys to they're going to be at the end of the season. We've got Bristol Rovers at 14-1. They are 5th favourites for promotion. Harrogate Town expected to struggle. They're down there, 2nd favourites to go down. That's right. I'm going to lean towards Bristol Rovers on the opening day as well on this one. And I think it's going to be quite convincing. 2-0 win, comfortably done, to see them, of course, kicking all off in convincing style. Then we go and take a look at one of the guys that have been really impressing me behind the scenes this off-season, and that's Cambridge. Cambridge, of course, managed by Neil Harris up against Cheltenham, and of course, the stewardship of Michael Flynn. Cambridge, at the moment, they're not there. They're about ninth favourites to win the title here. They're 20-1 to go up against the Cheltenham side, who are expected to struggle. They're down there, fourth or fifth favourites to go down 50-1 to get themselves promoted. But this match coming at you over at Cambridge, been very busy on the old transfer market. Have Cambridge bringing some attractive players as well. And I think they're in good hands. These two sides last played at Cambridge way back in February 2024. It was a 1-0 win for Cheltenham. Cheltenham actually unbeaten against Cambridge over the last 6, picking up 5 wins on the spin. Will they make it 6 wins on the spin? We'll see about that. Quick look at the odds for this game. It is 6-5 on is your Cambridge, 13-5 is the draw, 3-1 is your away win. That is, of course, Cheltenham. I'm going to back Cambridge. Of course, Neil Harris, the governor there for Cambridge, and I think he's definitely a manager. I think he's better than League Two. I think he'll get themselves a convincing. I'm going for a 2-1 win, maybe a bit of a tasty one, challenging one, and they'll get themselves over the line as well. If you want to get in there, of course, in the predictions, get in there. We are live. We're doing these. Hopefully, going to do these week in, week out, live. So jump in. So let's go into the next one. Get ready. Colchester United up against Tranmere Rovers. Again, another club I think are going to go challenge for promotion. Danny Cowley's boys, of course, very defensive-minded last round. Up against Tranmere, who I did anticipate to be contenders, but I don't think they've been as fruitful as I expected this off-season. I think they were supposed to get taken over. I'm not sure if they did get taken over. So if you do know, let me know in the comments or in the chat down below. But anyway, coming at you, Colchester, Danny Cowley, the coach. They've played each other 31 times since 2003. 8 wins, 10 wins Tranmere, and we've got 13 draws as well. Now, the last time these two sides played at this venue, it was a 3-0 win for Colchester back in September 2024. Colchester did the double over Tranmere last season. Back-to-back wins, back-to-back 3. They scored 6 goals against Tranmere in those 2 games. In fact, they're unbeaten against Tranmere over the last 5. Tranmere's last victory way back in August in their own backyard, of course, coming into this. Quick look at the odds for the title for promotion. Colchester, they're not that. They're struggling. They're about 11th in the odds. They're 20-1 to get promoted. Tranmere, 33-1. So two teams that are going to be struggling, according to the bookies. Quick look at the comments there. Did not get taken over, Gary Davis. It was meant to be Rihanna and the gang, but so that's not happening. Quick look at the odds for the game itself. Of course, coming in Colchester, we've got 11-10. Colchester 5-2 is your Tranmere. 11-5 is the draw. I'm going Colchester, going 2-0 win. Tranmere may struggle this campaign. Now that seems to be dead and buried unless it gets revisited, but they're leaving it too late. Barnet, of course, promoted from the Vanarama National League. We will be covering the Vanarama National League. They will be done in shorts. We're going to be doing 60-second video predictions for the lower leagues, something new to the channel. They will not be live. Barnet, of course, managed by Dean Brennan. Up against Fleetwood, managed by Pete Wild. Coming at you over at Barnet. These two sides played 3 times to 2012. 1 win for Barnet, 2 for Fleetwood. No draws between the two sides. Coming into this one, though, Barnet's pre-season looking pretty good. Unbeaten in the last 9 games in all competitions, all venues. Up against the Fleetwood Town side, who picked up 3 wins on the spin. But the last time that these two sides played, it was in this division. Way back in March 2013, Barnet picking up that 2-0 win way back when. The odds, though, for these two clubs, Barnet, are expected to be around about actually quite high, about 10th favourite to go up, 20-1. They've got quite a talented little bunch of players. Of course, they steamrolled the division last season. Up against the Fleetwood Town side, not necessarily fancy many, 33-1 to get themselves promoted at this early stage. But the odds for the game itself coming at you over at Barnet is 2019 on is your Barnet. They are red hot favourites. 27-10 is your Fleetwood. 5-2 is your draw. Pete Wild is, of course, a good manager at this level. They brought in Ched Evans as well, an experienced pro up top, returned to a club that did him so well. It's a tight one, this one. Going to go with a 1-0 away win against the grain, perhaps. Maybe a bit of a surprise. Let me know your picks. Of course, we are live at the moment. So, again, we'll be back tomorrow. League One predictions as well. So, put that in your calendar as we gear up for a busy start to the campaign. I did not expect the league to kick off this coming weekend, but we're here and we are live. Chesterfield taking on Barrow. Chesterfield are hot to trot. Everybody's backing them at the moment. Paul Cook's boys coming into this one up against Andrew Wing's Barrow, who played 5 times since 2018. 2 wins to Chesterfield, just the 1 win for Barrow. There's been 2 draws between these two sides. Chesterfield's pre-season has been pretty grim, winless in the last 6. Barrow, though, on the flip side, just 1 in those last 6 matches. Now, quick look at the odds for these guys. Like I said, Chesterfield are expected to do very, very well. Second favourite, 30-2 to go up. As for Barrow, expected to struggle, 33-1 for themselves. Of course, last time that these two sides played at it was a 1-0 win back in November 2024. Chesterfield did the double of a Barrow, back-to-back clean sheets, looking to make it 3 wins on the spin against them and an unbeaten run of 4 games against Barrow. The odds for this one, looking at it, Chesterfield 13-8 on for the victory, 17-4 is the away win, 14-5 is the draw. We're going to back Chesterfield, of course we are. Paul Cook, a little bit hard done by last time around playoffs, couldn't muster it. Convincing win, 3-1 win for me in my eyes. Grimsby Town next up out the blocks. They're going to be taking on Crawley. That's right. Crawley relegated last time around. Scott Lindsay in the dugout right there. Grimsby and the David Artell played each other 16 times since 2010. We've got 5 wins. Grimsby 6 wins. Crawley has been 5 draws between the two sides. Pre-season looking good for Grimsby. 3 wins on the bounce. Crawley back-to-back defeats between themselves as pre-season kicks on. Crawley, though, unbeaten against Grimsby over the last 2. In fact, unbeaten the last 3, but back-to-back wins, including a win they last Grimsby way back in September 2023. 3-2 win, gold bonanza it was back then. Quick look at the odds for the title for these two sides. Grimsby towards the top end here, 20-1. Crawley a little bit less odds on them, 25-1 to go the distance, and that is, of course, promotion. Quick look at the odds for the game itself, coming at you over at Grimsby. Again, form is out the window. This is, of course, everyone starts on a clean slate, but the odds here, even Stevens is your Grimsby, 12-5 is your Crawley, 13-5 is the draw here. We are going to go with a Grimsby victory here, 2-0 win. Don't fancy Crawley at this start of the season. I think they're going to be towards the bottom end than the top, in my eyes. Meanwhile, one team expected to be flying high this campaign is MK Dons. That's right. Paul Warne is here. He was there, wasn't he? I think it was confirmed at the back end of the season. Of course, a miserable campaign last time around. A clean slate for MK Dons up against Oldham, who are back in the big time, in the promised land. That is the EFL after a couple of seasons out in non-league. Mickey Mellon is the coach there. They have played 26 times, these two clubs, since 1993. 14 wins, MK Dons, 7 wins, Oldham. There's been 5 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time that these two sides played over at the Stadium MK, it was back in 2019. It was a 2-1 win for MK Dons in a season. They did the double over Oldham. Coming into this, though, Oldham are expected to struggle. That's right. They're actually mid-table, 25-1. However, MK Dons flying high, expected to dominate the division. 3 is their odds for the title right now. But the odds for the game, 10-7 on is your MK Dons, 5-2 is your draw, 4-1 is your away win. We are going with MK Dons victory here. I like Oldham. I'm happy they're back. But I don't think they're going to get a result here. Going with a big win as well. MK Dons believe in the Paul Warne. I think they'll do okay this season. I'm not saying they're going to blow the league apart, but they'll be up there. Meanwhile, the battle of the counties, it's Newport County taking on Notts County over in Wales. That's right. David Hughes is the governor there for Newport County, up against Notts County, managed by Martin Patterson. Another strange one there. See how that goes. I don't think already I've got bad vibes about both of these two clubs here. Played 12 times since 2015. 4 wins for Newport, 6 wins for Notts County. There's been 2 draws between the two sides. Coming into this one, Newport County's form has been pretty grim. Just 1 win in the last 6 over the, of course, pre-season. Notts County are even worse than that. 17% form, winless in the last 6. And they last played over in Wales. It was a 2-0 win for Notts County way back in March 2025. Notts County unbeaten against the Welsh team there. The last 4, picking up 3 wins and just the 1 draw, and just conceded 1 goal against them in the last 4 matches. Get your predictions in the chat if you want to have a crack at this one. Quick look at the odds then for the title. Notts County are all the way up there. 6th favourites, 14-1. That's madness. Absolute madness. As for Newport County, they are favourites to go down, 100-1. But at the counties on this one, the odds for the game itself, 4-1 is your Newport County, 13-8 on is your Notts County, 29-10 is the draw. We are going to go with a 1-1 draw, point apiece. My first draw of the year. That's right. Get in there. Moving forward, we're going to go Salford City. They're going to be taking on Crewe Alexandra. A bit of a Northwest country clash this one over at Salford. Salford managed by Carl Robinson. Good coach. Couldn't get it right last time, but I think they're in good hands there. Crewe on the flip side, managed by Lee Bell. They're in, okay hands. They played each other 8 times in 2019. 4 wins Salford, 2 wins Crewe. There's been 2 draws between these two sides. Salford, though, unbeaten the last 6 over pre-season. Up against Crewe, coming into on back-to-back defeats. Now, the last time that these two sides played at Salford, it was a 1-1 draw way back in March 2025. It was actually back-to-back draws between the two sides last season. Salford, though, unbeaten against Crewe over the last 4, just lost once against them in the last 6, and that was a 7-goal Bobby Dazzler. Coming into this one, Salford expected, I think they're up there. They're 4th favourites, 14-1 for the title. Crewe down in 28-1, and looking like they're going to struggle according to the bookies on this one. The odds for this one, this game itself, we got 10-9 on is your Salford, 27-10 is your Crewe, 27-10 is of course the draw. I'm also going with Salford on this one. 2-0 win, job done, piece of cake, and of course up and running. Of course, get your first win under your blocks. That's what you need. Into the final couple, we have relegated Shrewsbury up against Bromley. Andy Woodman, of course, did a great job last season against Shrewsbury, and Michael Appleton. This match taking place over at Shrewsbury. That's right. Never played each other, these two clubs. Coming into this one, though, 58% form Shrewsbury. Back-to-back games, though, without a win over pre-season. Bromley also on 58% form for them. 1-1 lost, 1 drew, 1 over the last 3. Like I said, they've yet to play each other, so not too much data to kind of look at these guys. Shrewsbury 25-1. We've got Bromley 50-1. Both sides mid to low end of the table, and are not expected to compete with the playoffs. But we've got a comment in the chat here. Let me just jump on over there. Shrewsbury will win. Well, the bookies also probably agree with you. 30-10 for the victory. 13-5 is the draw. 9-5 is your Bromley here. I think I'm going to go. I think it's a tight one. Difficult to call. Going to go with a 1-1 draw. Bromley were good last season, and I think they're going to give Shrewsbury a headache on the other day. So another draw for me. But we wrap it all up with Heartbreak Hotel, Walsall against Swindon Town. And the best got this one. This one's spicy here. Walsall under Matt Sadler, score still around there. 4 wins of the last 5 in pre-season. Up against Swindon and Ian Holloway, who are unbeaten in the last 6. They have taken on Walsall 37 times in the past since 1999. 12 wins Walsall, 13 wins Swindon. There's been 12 draws between the two sides. So quite tight over the history books between these two sides. Coming into this, the last time they played at the Bescot was a 1-0 win for Swindon back in March 2025. They exchanged victories last season. When they played at Swindon, Walsall came out on top. When they played at Walsall, Swindon came out on top. So pretty tight there. Bookies for this one. Swindon, where are they? They're about 7th favourites, 14-1. Walsall, about 8th favourites, 16 supplies towards that top end. Walsall 6-5 for the victory, 11-5 is your Swindon, 23-10 is of course the draw here. I like Swindon, I like it in Holloway, but I don't think they're going to get off to the best possible start here. I think Walsall will nick this one. 2-1 win in my eyes. That's my take for match number 1, guys. And if I'm right, which, stranger things have happened. If I'm right, this is what the table will look like. Early doors, MK Dons setting the pace there. Chesterfield in 2nd spot with Bristol Rovers in 3rd. Going down Crewe and Oldham in a very northwest flavourful relegation zone. And again, don't forget, guys, we are starting a brand new squeaky clean prediction league. It is here. Hopefully, punch in that QR code or punch in that link right there, and you'll hop over to the form, fill it all out the best way you possibly can. And of course, we'll review them when we can. I don't know how often we're going to review them, but we're going to review them. But that, my friends, is EFL League 2 predictions match day number 1 on the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you smash the like. We're going to have a lot of videos over the season for League 2, League 1, Championship and beyond around the world. We'll do it all. We're even going to take a look at the kits very, very soon. So make sure you do just that. So, and yeah, check out the shorts. We've got some other short little videos coming out very, very soon. So sit tight. Hold on, subscribe, smash like wherever you are. And of course, we'll see you when we return, of course, for the next round of games, which will be next week. Until then, I'm out.